Hello, hello, hello. Jumping on here again, once again, and having a little conversation with you all today. And today's topic is called Beauty from the Inside Out. And I know as hairdressers, we've always focused on the external of a person, how they dress, who they are, how they show up. We might get a little bit of a story on who they are in their life, like what role they play in their work, what archetype they are. Are they a mother? Are they a father? Are they a brother, a sister, a lover? What are they? And where are they in their life? And, another little thing that we don't think about is that, which we are checking in about, is like what transition are they in their life? And we are checking in about it, but we just haven't been shown and given the language on how to articulate, going deeper into the psyche, into the psychology of what is going on with our clients, so that we have the language and the articulation to have a conversation with our clients to deepen their own awareness of their transitional and their rite of passage experiences that they're going through. The hero's journey is what we call it in psychology. So beauty from the inside out is not looking at a client externally first. Beauty from the inside out means looking at a client from the inside first, and then allowing our findings from the internal discoveries of who it is that they are, what it is they stand for, what their values are, what they believe in the world, what they feel about, certain things and lifestyles and living and work and their philosophies around life. Understanding the person, the inner person that you're working with. And what happens is something quite magical occurs when you start, like when you wipe away your idea of when a person walks in, and you've got this, they've got an oval face and this is the kind of haircut that I'm going to give them and the kind of color for their skin tone and the way that they're dressed. I'm gonna do this and I'm going to approach them with this, and it's already projected at them as soon as they walk in the door. You've already made up your mind about who this person is and how you need to best reflect them. You've already made up your mind. Whether you know it or not, you've already made up your mind with them. And this process of, coming from the inside first, what happens is that you've got a blank slate. You are allowing a person to walk into your space, and you're not projecting any ideas or through your lens, your idea of who you think they should be at all. You're just allowing this person to walk in. You are neutral. You are aware. You are present to just a human meeting a human. There's a neutrality around it. And you're not projecting or assuming anything at all here, because you don't know, especially if it's a new client. And even if it's not a new client, even if it's a regular client, like my suggestion here with this conversation is, don't assume because you've been doing someone for 10 years that they are the same person when they walk back in for their next appointment. They might have gone through a major life change, or something really drastic may have happened in their life that's changed their perspective on who they are. And this is where, Evolve comes in and teaching you how to unpack the inner landscape, how to understand, how to have the language to articulate and the knowledge behind how to articulate, getting into the psyche, into the depth of the person that you're working with, so that you are creating masterfully, I may add, a reflection for them that is spot on with who it is they really are, with their authenticity, aligned with their truth. Because you're not assuming, you're discovering, you're allowing. You're guiding your clients into a place of depth and allowing your client to expose that depth to you. And as an artist observes a landscape or observes a person's face as the light changes and how they are able to capture that in a moment as they're painting or taking a photograph or however the art needs to be produced. This is the art. This is refinement. This is refined art for hairdressers. And the only way that we can refine our art is not by actually learning, better hairdressing techniques or better color techniques or any of those things. It's understanding how to deepen our knowledge, how to deepen our ability to go into the inner layers of a person and really be present and allow who that person is to venture forward, to feel safe enough to venture forward and expose themselves. A lot of people hide behind masks, like they hide behind a job or an archetypal role, like being a mother, being a father, like an archetype, being the mother, being the father. That's the best archetype that I can express to you, because you really get that picture. There's an idea, I say the mother. There's an idea that might flash in your head right now and you go, oh yeah, mother, boom. And you have this idea of what a mother is in your own perspective. And you take that lens, you take that image and you project it onto other mothers that you're serving, that you're transforming. And each mother, may I add, from my years of doing internal transformations and initiations, each mother in my experience has been completely different than the mother that I did before her or after her. They're completely different looks, reflections, identity, truths and authenticities, completely different lens for them. And I'm a mother. I'm a mother. So if I walked in to you as a client and you met me and the first thing I said to you is I'm a mum, you might immediately project the idea of what you have of a mother on me. And it's far from the truth about me, because not even my kids call me their mother, because I've never really behaved in that way. As much as I love them and I'm devoted to my children and I adore them, I'm also a really independent, sovereign woman that has my own unique way of being in the world that is not associated with being a mother, because that's a role I've already played. And even when I was actually in that role, I wasn't reflecting a mother at all. I was still reflecting myself. I didn't take on the mother role. Some women take on the mother role and they become mothers. Their body, their hair, their clothing, everything becomes the archetype of the mother. And some women really maintain their sovereignty and independence, and they don't take on that. They stay who they are. And it's getting to know the person as to who they are. So beauty from the inside out is actually spending enough time with your clients so that in the resonance, in the magic, in the morphic field that you create between you and your client, you are enabled to witness the absolute inner beauty of a person come out and expose itself to you. And capturing that as an artist would capture a landscape or a form, and just spending time observing the landscape, watching the light change until something inside of them sparks aliveness and excitement, and then immediately, without even thinking, the brush will be picked up, the paints will be picked up, and then they're working, they're painting, they're creating. And this is what I'm talking about, becoming the refined artist. And our medium of becoming the refined artist is through interpersonal play. It's through this opportunity of actually expanding our interpersonal capacity so that we have the language and the tools and the knowledge to be able to unpack a person. Greatness is the word that I was, unpack a person's greatness. And therefore have you as the witness observing this person and allowing their authenticity, their truth, their characteristics all to unfurl and unfold in front of you as you, the artist, capture this beauty, because they can't see this. They're expressing this to you, and you are the observer. You are the witness of the unfolding and the unpacking. What an honorable place to be, and what an honorable position to have, to be the witness of to be the observer of witnessing the beauty, the inner beauty of a person unfold, unfurl in front of you. And then in discussion, actually, refine, attune. You learn all this and evolve, how to refine, how to attune, how to keep on narrowing the conversation down so that it becomes reflective of the art that you are going to create for them, how you're going to define and refine and reflect their authenticity. And if you've been an artist, I've been in this industry for 40 years. So if you've been in the industry for as long as I have or longer, or even less than that, but you've been in the industry for a while, and you know that it's not going to be another technique of cutting. It's not going to be another technique of color that's going to do it for you, because there's a hunger, there's a thirst in your body going, I want to deepen my work. I want to do work that matters. I want to do something that I actually am surprised with myself as to what transpires from a session with a client. And the piece that I noticed 25 years ago that was missing for me was the interpersonal aspect, the ability to communicate on a level that allowed me as the master craftsperson to create fine art with my clients. And not even that, the client goes through a process with you as well as of rediscovering themselves, because they'll be like, wow, I didn't even know that I felt that way, or I didn't even know that I wanted to express this part of me. But what allowed them to find this out was the safety of the container that you build with them, the presence that you actually sat with them, and the enabling that triggered for them to expose themselves at a level that they felt safe enough to go into, to reflect into. So beauty from the inside out is work. It's refined work. It's evolved work. And I'm trying my best here to really articulate and express to you what evolve really does, because when we're talking about the invisible, when we're talking about the elusive language, we're talking about witnessing. It's an invisible mastery that is built up over time within the self. It's like, therapists. When I became a therapist, I had to go through studying that body of work in order to embody the language and the understandings and the skills and the tools and all of those things. And before I was able to become embodied in my work, so that it became so natural when I was in space with another, that it didn't even look like I was actually in therapy. I was just being the guide. I was being the observer. And most people, that's all they need. Most people, they just need to be witnessed. They just need to be seen, and they need to be heard. And people come to hairdressers because it's the only place where that can occur outside of therapy, because it's not as formal as therapy. It's more relaxed. I mean, there was a study that was done quite a few years ago by a psychiatrist who went out because he was fascinated by why a lot of clients, like therapy clients, actually divulged more to their hairdresser than they did their therapist. And he went on this, I think it was 2 years. He went on this 2-year research adventure and interviewing hairdressers and sitting in salons for hours upon hours on time and observing, what this phenomena was. Why did clients feel safer telling their hairdressers their deepest, darkest secrets, and they didn't feel safe enough with a therapist who was qualified to handle the deepest, darkest secrets? And that's the other thing, is that hairdressers are not qualified to handle people's deepest, darkest secrets, yet people feel comfortable actually telling a hairdresser their deepest, darkest secrets. And his outcome of his research was that hairdressers were non-threatening. Hairdressers actually created an environment of comfortability and safety. They weren't under the microscope. They weren't being, picked apart, let's say, as a therapist would. They were just there to listen to them. And at the end of his research paper, he found that most people just want to be heard and they want to be seen. They want to be validated as existing and in their life. They don't really probably get that much. So when people go to hairdressers, it's a hairdresser's, like silent role that when a client's booked in for an hour, where they're booked in for your time. They are booking in for your time. They're booking for you to give them undivided presence and time for that hour. And they know that they're going to be heard, they're going to be seen, they're going to be felt, and they're going to be reflected. And imagine actually having the qualifications and the capacity to be able to do that in a way that doesn't burn you out, firstly, and in another way where you don't actually feel burdened by what people share with you, because you know how to become not disassociated, but actually create a boundary between what is a client's and what is your story, and observe it as the witness and not take it on board. And this is what we learn. It's actually like therapeutic skills or therapy skills that you learn about how to navigate this very sensitive topic, this interpersonal topic, so that you don't get burnt out, emotionally burnt out by the work that we do. So bringing beauty from the inside out is about how do you sit and observe? How do you sit and observe? I just want to say in this moment, I'm really loving, sharing these really deep conversations with you. For those of you that are watching and following so far, I know it's a very small number and it's okay. It's just, I'm bringing out new content and new information for our industry on purpose. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I believe in this work. It's changed, it's transformed so many people's lives that I've actually touched and worked with and initiated into their authenticity and given them the courage. They found the courage within themselves to actually live their most authentic life. So the work has actually made it's had substance. It's had substance and meaning. It's not just giving somebody a haircut, but it's actually uniting it from who they are on the inside, for how they want that inside to come out to be reflected, so that the world knows who they are without them needing to say anything. Because let's face it, hair is the reflection of our identity. And when we get it right, when you get it right, when you get a haircut right, and I'm a cutter, so, I was always, the lead creative stylist in my salon. And when you get a haircut right, it's not because you've got the technique right. It's because you nailed the client. You nailed the characteristic of the client, and you really got who they were, and you were able to reflect them in a way that surprised you. that fully surprised you. So if you're loving this content, I just want to add right here, I was just about to say, and then I got lost in that little piece. If you're loving this content, please like and subscribe to this channel and share it with friends, other hairdressers that you know that might get value out of this content. It will help to support the channel to grow and also get this information out to as many people as possible so they know that this work actually exists in the world for them. And beyond that, if you're really interested in what I offer here and what I am offering here, please go to houseofmetamorphosis.au and check out the Evolve Curriculum Prospectus and all my mentoring packages that I have there. There's quite a few to choose from, and I can also design a unique package just for you based on where you are at in your life and where you would like to go. And there's also other programs. There's the Initiation Self-Mastery program there, which is actually a beginner intro program for those that are interested in evolving their career, but need to do a little bit of personal development work first. And this is the intro before Evolve. Yeah, with saying that, I hope this content finds you well. And I hope you sit and reflect about how do you bring your client's beauty from the inside out? How do you reflect a person so authentically that you become the refined artist in your salon? Sending you so much love and loving having these conversations and sharing this information with you. And I hope this information once again finds you well. And I look forward to the next topic that I put together to share with you all. Have a fabulous week. Bye.